Nippon Hoso Podcast Station.
Alright, let's dive into today's phrase from Howl himself.
お守り、無事に行って帰れるように。大丈夫、僕が姿を変えてついていくから。さあ、行きたまえ。
Oh, by the way, did you know my name comes from Castle in the Sky?
Amaki Sari. Anime English Club with Sally Amaki.Hello everyone and welcome to episode 19 of the Anime English Club. I'm your host, Sally Amaki. よろしくお願いします。
So today we're going to be talking about a Ghibli film. While watching this film, I had a little temakizushi party. If you guys don't know what a temakizushi party is.
手巻き寿司っていうのがそもそも、
it's not like a normal sushi. Or normal sushi is like a little tiny rice ball and a slice of fish. But temakizushi is like a sushi roll. Like you make a roll, with like seaweed and stuff. So I had a temakizushi party with one of my friends who really loves Howl's Moving Castle. And they were watching it with me. But before Howl's Moving Castle, I didn't realize how expensive raw fish has become in Japan. Has it always been this expensive? It was like 1,900 yen, so basically like roughly $19 for this piece of salmon. This piece, yeah. So I had like salmon, tuna, what else did I have? Ika, squid, octopus, ikura, cod roe. So it was like $100. Yeah, for like two people. That's just the fish. I bought like avocado and like imitation crab, and because I wanted to make California rolls. Yeah, imitation crabs. カニカマ imitation crabs. カニカマって何なんですか？imitation crab の釜ですか？
かまぼこ？
カニかまぼこ。へー。
そうなんですね。
はい。Yeah, so like all together it was like $200. I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. Whoever said like cooking at home is cheaper, it's a lie now. Everything is so expensive. Oof. Anyway, let's get into today's episode. Today we are exploring ハウルの動く城 or Howl's Moving Castle. This is our first episode covering Studio Ghibli. So Howl's Moving Castle is a 2004 animated fantasy film produced by Studio Ghibli, based on the novel by British author Diana Wynne-Jones. The story follows Sophie, a young woman who works at her family's hat shop until she's cursed by the Witch of the Waste and transformed into an old woman. Her journey leads her to the mysterious wizard Howl and his magical moving castle. The film was nominated for an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature. おめでとうございます。May I say, so Howl's Moving Castle is super popular in Japan. Like whenever there's a ranking for top fictional men, like those rankings, Howl is basically in every single one of those rankings. He is so popular. I didn't know how few of like knowledge I had of Howl's Moving Castle. First of all, when I started watching the movie, I was surprised in the fact that the castle was moving on Earth. I thought it was like supposed to be floating in the sky. I realized that the movie I thought that was Howl's Moving Castle was actually Castle in the Sky. Yeah, I was thinking about a completely different movie, so this whole entire experience was very weird for me. Because I thought that I've seen it before when I was really young. I was like, I've seen Howl before. So I was trying to like connect my memory with what I was watching as an adult, and I was like, I don't remember any of this. But it turns out I was thinking about Castle in the Sky while I was watching Howl. So anyway. Oh, by the way, did you know my name comes from Castle in the Sky?
Amaki Sari.
So Sari means princess in Latin, and Amaki in the Japanese kanji, you write ten, so sky, and then castle, shiro. So it's like the princess in the castle in the sky. So my whole entire name basically comes from the Studio Ghibli film Castle in the Sky. No, it's not the origin of my name. It's not the version of my name, but basically my whole entire name is the plot of the film. So when I first started this idol work, my nickname used to be Raputan. Because you know the castle in the sky in Japanese, it's Raputa. So as a nickname, they would be like Raputan. They would call me Raputan. That ended in like 2 days. Holding on to my past glory, but anyway. All right, let's dive into today's phrase from Howl himself.
はい。まず日本語で。お守り、無事に行って帰れるように。大丈夫、僕が姿を変えてついていくから。さあ、行きたまえ。
Now in English, this is, "This charm will guarantee your safe return. Don't worry, I'll follow behind you in disguise. Now, off you go." Alright, so this scene occurs in the middle of the film when the kingdom is at war and Madame Suliman, the royal sorceress, has been summoning all wizards to serve in the military. Howl has been avoiding her calls because he doesn't want to fight in the war. When Suliman demands that Howl come to the palace, Sophie volunteers to go in his place, pretending to be his mother. Before she leaves, Howl gives her a magical charm and explains that it will protect her during the journey. He then tells her that he will follow her in disguise to make sure she's safe and sends her off. The conversation takes place in the castle when Howl preparing Sophie for what could be a dangerous encounter with the powerful and intimidating Madame Suliman. Hi. So when he said that he was going to be in disguise, when Sophie arrives at Madame Suliman's place, there's a dog that accompanies her along the way. I thought that was Howl the whole entire time. Does everybody think that's Howl too when they first watched the movie? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I was like, oh, that's Howl. But no, it turns out it was literally a dog. So where was Howl? He said that he was like in disguise, but he wasn't. When he came to save Sophie, he came as himself, didn't he? Oh no, he came as the guard. Oh, he came as a king.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was a guard. Whoops. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so that was the whole entire phrase. So this phrase teaches us about expressing care, protection, and gentle farewells in English. So if we break down the vocab, first of all, charm in Japanese is omamori. But, なんだろうな. It's not just like a jewelry or magical protective objects. In Japan, there's like shrines and temples, and there's like a legitimate omamori that you can buy. Yeah, so it's very similar to that, but in this movie it was kind of different. So it can also mean personal attractiveness, like she has a lot of charm. But is that the same as like omamori? Right? Like the spelling is the same, like CHARM is the same as like Prince Charming, or like, oh, she has so much charm, Kiran, but it doesn't have the same meaning, so be aware if you're learning vocab right now. It is the same spelling though. Hi. So, but in this context, it was used as a magical protective item. We're going to talk about the cultural difference about charms later, so please stay tuned. But anyway, the next vocab we're going to be looking at is guarantee. Guarantee is 保証する. So, 保証する, guarantee is, it's stronger than promise or assure. You know, it's, there's like so much confidence behind that word guarantee. So, I don't think the translation was very accurate in this case. Because in the Japanese version, Howl did not guarantee her safe return. He was like, here, this is a special, like, lucky charm. It's so that you can come home safely. Like, it's more like he wishes. Like, he puts his wish into this charm, like, it's so that you can come home safely. But in the English version, it's like, hey, I have confidence. If you have this, you'll come home. Like, I will guarantee your safe return. And that's not the nuance that he had when he was saying the phrase. So I don't think guarantee was a right term to use. はいですね。本当ギャランティーはもうめちゃくちゃ自信があるときに使ってください。保証なのでね、もう10年保証と一緒ですよね。はい。次。in disguise は変装してですね。This also I don't know if this was like, なんだろう, the best translation to use, because in disguise, I imagine like changing your clothes or like putting on a wig, usually like in spy movies or like detective movies, or Clark Kent putting on like glasses to disguise himself. Like it's not really changing your form like as a human, you know? So a literal translation probably would have been like, I'm gonna change my form and follow after you. Like he says in the Japanese way, he says 姿を変えていくから, which means I'm gonna change my form rather than disguise. So disguise is more like I'm gonna put on a disguise and stuff, you know? Which I suck at putting on a disguise. Idols, whenever you have a live or something, usually when the place that you're going to have a concert doesn't have a backstage, we have to go in from the front where there's a lot of fans already waiting. So our managers would tell us to put on a disguise, but I suck at putting on a disguise because, like, look, I have glasses on right now. You can tell it's me. I don't know how Clark Kent does it, like Superman does it. I don't understand how glasses does it for him, but like this changes nothing in me. And there was this one time I got in trouble from my manager. So we were, I think it was at the airport or something, where we were gonna ride the same plane as our fans. So my manager told me to put on a hat, like, you know. So all my other members showed up in like this super like deep hat and stuff, but I showed up in a beret. Like it's a hat. It is a hat, but I showed up in a beret. But it's because I thought she meant you know, come in like a really cute outfit, you know, because there's gonna be fans out there. So I was like, okay, weird, but okay, I'm gonna put on a beret. But may I say, it wasn't just me. It was me and also this member called Suzuha Namoe. The two of us had a beret on. Yeah. The two troublemakers of the group. She graduated last year. Oof. But anyway, so yeah, disguises are hard. How would you disguise yourself? Because, you know, and like a lot of the pictures, the scandalous pictures that idols get taken at like, I don't know, amusement parks and stuff, they're all in disguise, but you can tell it's them. So like, what's the point, you know?
Can you tell?
Yeah, you can tell. I can usually tell from like the backside of them. Whenever I see some like idols or like somebody famous out in the streets, I usually don't think they're idols at first. I'm like, oh, I see a familiar face, and I think that they're my friend or something that I just don't remember. So I go to greet them, and halfway through the conversation, I'm like, I don't know you. Oh, you're an idol. It has happened twice in Japan. Yeah. But I think it's because I approach them in so much confidence, like I'm their friend, that they also think that I'm somebody that they don't remember. So we have like a full-blown conversation, and halfway through, I'm like, I am so sorry to say this. I do not even know who you are. And like, I'm like, we're not friends. Like I thought we were, but I've come to realize that you're an idol that I just saw a music video of like yesterday. So yeah, it does happen. So I don't think disguises work, but I don't know if it makes you feel any better. I mean, if you put on like a mask and like a hat and glasses, then I guess it's like a disguise. But like, I don't know. I feel like that's more, you know, なんだろう、目立つ。目立つってなんだろう。That attracts more attention. Like you seem so suspicious. Like try walking into a bank looking like that. If I was a security guard, I'd be like, excuse me, we have a bank robbery on the go. But yeah, so disguises are hard. So I wish I could change my form like Howl. All right, next. Sorry, we got off track. Now off you go. さあ、行きたまえですね. Now off you go is kind of a gentle way of saying go, you know? Like in my opinion, it seems... I know Howl isn't a princess, but like I feel like it's like I imagined Cinderella saying it to her little birds, like, off you go, little ones, you know? Like I feel like it's something you would say to some little tiny creatures that you care about and be like, I feel like Peter Pan would also say it. Also, it's a different anime, but for instance, in Kaguya-sama wa Kokurasetai, Fujiwara Shoki, you know, the song that got super popular in Japan. ポクポクポクポクポクポクわみたいな. I think it was the ending for Kaguya-sama season 1. It was like super popular, but in the end, she takes a cockroach off of a curtain and she like releases it into the wild, like Mori okaeri. Like it has the same nuance, like sa ikitamae, you know, like kind of gentle, you know. You're not gonna kill that roach and be like, go. So yeah, it's more like a gentle, caring way of saying, now, off you go. Hi. So in the Japanese version, sa doesn't really translate to anything. Like, I mean, it can be translated to now, or it can be translated to like there, but there's not like a correct literal translation of sa. You know, it's just like a word. Is it a made-up word? Like you wouldn't find it in a dictionary, right? Like sa. There is. All right, cross that out of your brain. Whatever I told you right now. We are Googling it right now. All right. Come on, sa.
Or let's.
Come on, let's.
Let's.
I mean, I guess. I don't think it's a literal translation. There is no literal translation.
Here we go.
Here we go, sa. Really? That is so much to put on that two hiragana, like sa. Like, here we go. Come on. No, that sa cannot hold that much weight on its shoulders. No, we're putting too much in that one word. Wow, okay. So I guess there's many, sa can mean many things, but yeah. In the dub version, it was there, like here, like there you go. But in the sub version, it was now, off you go. So there are many ways you can translate it, but now off you go. I think it's a very theatrical way of saying things, you know, like now off you go. I don't really think people in real life actually say it, you know? I feel like there you go, or come on, let's go would be like a better way of speaking, you know, in this three-dimensional world. I think it works for Howl though, because he's a very cool fictional character.
はい。です。次。The pronunciation. Alright, so this week's phrase is お守り、無事に行って帰れるように。大丈夫、僕が姿を変えてついていくから。さあ、行きたまえ。In English, this charm will guarantee your safe return. Don't worry, I'll follow behind you in disguise. Now, off you go. One more time. This charm will guarantee your safe return. Don't worry, I'll follow behind you in disguise. Now, off you go. Hi. So, the phrase I think is hard for you guys is probably guarantee, the g sound, guarantee, and the t sound. So first of all, guarantee. Because it's spelled like Guarantee, a lot of the times, people pronounce it as like guarantee, like looking at the GU, but it's actually get, like GE, pretend like it's a GE, or like, なんだろう. You know, in Japanese animes, when people get caught doing something bad, they're like, get, you know, like, get. So pretend you're that character, like, get, and then guarantee, I feel like in the past episodes, a lot of the times, I said the T is silent in a lot of the words that we picked up, but in this case, emphasize the T, like, guarantee, and there you have it, guarantee. And then disguise is also very hard because it's spelled with a G, but when you listen to it, it's like disguise. It's more like a K, so disguise. So when you say disguise, like with a G, you're using your, like, the lower part of your throat, but when you say disguise, like you're kind of using the upper area, you know? So speak from the top of your throat, if that makes sense. Just speak with a K. Can you try saying it disguise? Disguise.
Disguise.
No, that's G. Disguise.
Disguise.
Oh yeah. So try saying this skies, like the sky, but in like a really bad pronunciation, purposely, like disguise. Disguise.
Disguise.
Yes. So only when you pronounce disguise, just try saying disguise in a very bad pronunciation. All right. And off you go. I think the pronunciation isn't hard. Just the way you say it should kind of be rhythmic, like off you go. So just pretend you're Peter Pan or Howl, like very, like you're in a fantasy story, like here we go or off you go. This, have rhythm. If you don't have rhythm, that's on you. I'm sorry. All right. And there you have it.
アニメイングリッシュクラブ with サリー・アマキ。月替わりのパーソナリティが担当する土曜日のオールナイトニッポンポッドキャスト。
9月はキャンディーチューンが担当。
9月13日の回は福山里乃と
立花琴美がお届け。
私がメモしたメンバーのヤバい情報を話しています。
キャンディーチューンのオールナイトニッポンポッドキャスト。
最新回は土曜夕方6時頃配信です。
The cultural context. Okay, so we're coming back to the cultural context. We're going to be talking about omamori or charm. So, in Japan, omamori is like a physical charm from temples that people carry for protection. Omamori or juzu? This guy, there's like little tiny balls that you put around your wrist that like basically makes your dream come true if you have it on. And then in Western culture, omamori is more of like a protective item that comes from a more personal level. Like it comes from a personal person. Like for instance, this sword is my grandma's, or like, this necklace is my grandma's. Like I want you to have it. I feel like you see a lot of those in Western movies, but in Japanese movies, for instance, if you're about to go to an entrance exam, nobody's going to give them like your grandma's charm, be like, here, this is my grandma's necklace. They're going to go to the shrine or a temple and give you this like bengaku no omamori. So a charm, omamori, specifically for like studying. There's so many types of omamoris in Japan. There's omamoris for like, I wish your love come true, or like, I hope your health gets better and stuff. So there are many forms of omamori. But yeah, I love going to shrines and temples. I have so many of the juzus. And okay, may I just say, I don't really believe, I'm not like a true believer. Like I don't, なんていうのかな. I don't think life is going to go the way you want just because you have this omamori. So I'm not like a super hardcore believer, but I do love going to shrines and temples to, say my wish and stuff. But there was this one time I took an audition for this one specific character that I really wanted to get, this voice acting role. So I went to the temple and I was like, please, like, I don't want anything else. Like, if you let me, voice this specific character, there's nothing in the world I want anymore. And then I got her role. But then every single audition I took after that, I literally didn't get any roles after that. So I went back to the temple and I was like, hi, it's me again from the past. I know a few months ago I said that if you give me this specific character, I don't want anything else in the world. Yeah, maybe that was too much. I said too much. I was like, I actually do want to voice more characters. I would love to. So if I can just like take back my words, that would be great. But thank you for letting me pass this specific character. But yeah, but then after I said that, I passed like 2 other roles. So that was like a very weird experience for me. It was crazy. はい。そんなことがあったんです。びっくりしました。あ、芸能の神様. There is one in Shinjuku. And there's also, the one I go to is actually in Ningyo-cho. There is this specific shrine that's very popular. This one super popular fortune teller in Japan called Geta Ida-san, Geta's no Ida-san. He recommends that shrine. 何でしたっけな、人形町のゲッターズ飯田さんって調べてください。小網神社。There's a 神社in 人形町 called 小網神社. It's very, very popular. Even if you go in the mornings, there's still a line of people. Yeah. And so I bought a juzu and I bought like Omamori there. And yeah, I was like, please let me get this roll. I don't want anything else. And yeah, I didn't get anything else. Hopefully I get something else. But yeah. Also, in Western culture or just like in cultures overseas, for instance, 4-leaf clovers. So that's weird. So there is no cultural difference then? But I guess in Japan, there are specific charms that come from temples and shrines, but there are also personal items, because like in samurai movies, people, get hand-me-down swords, katanas, that hold a very specific meaning and stuff. So I guess it is the same. There's just like one more in Japan, Like there's like... like they say that Japanese people don't really have like aren't in many like religions, but I feel like Japanese people are like the most religious people ever. Like it's not as strong as like going to church on like Sunday and stuff as like overseas, but like people have a really religious mindset without even thinking about it in Japan, because before we even eat, we're always like, itadakimasu and gochusou-sama. Like, we're literally thanking, the spirits in front of us. And, like, every, like, New Year's, we go to the temple and shrines. And, like, we wish everybody's, like, wellness and everything. Yeah, like, basically, I feel like 99.9% of the population does that in Japan, But everybody thinks they're not very religious, but it's like they have this, like, I think it's like engraved in them. Like, it's like an everyday thing that they don't really think that it's like religion, but yeah. So overseas, I guess there's like many different types of like religions. Like, it's not something that like everybody does as like a whole, but in Japan, I feel like everybody goes to temples and churches, whether they have like a strong bond with like somebody, in the higher ups or something, or even if they don't believe in it, they go to temples and shrines. So yeah.
ということで that's it for this episode of the Anime English Club. Next episode, we're also featuring Howl's Moving Castle, but it's a very fascinating quote, which was also translated in a not so very literal way, so we're going to be talking about it as well. Hi. You can listen to Anime English Club as a podcast and on YouTube, where you can follow along with transcripts and subtitles. You can adjust the speed however you want and listen as many times as you need to get comfortable with English. Listening over and over is really the key to mastering any language. For Japanese and English subtitles, go to youtube.com/@anime-english-club or just search by the title. And the Anime English Club wants to hear from you. And, whether it's anime you'd like us to cover or specific lines that you want me to translate in English, please tell us whose line it is and which episode of the anime it comes from. Or just any general English grammar questions or anything. Anything, if you just want to say hi as well. We're 待ってます。はい。Email us at aec@1242.com. That is aec@1242.com. You can email me in either Japanese or English. メールは日本語でも英語でも大丈夫です。ということで、
yeah, next week I'm going to be talking about my take on Howl and how Howl was not the character that I thought he would be. He was not who I thought he would be. So please stay tuned and come back next week. Bye bye!
From the Nippon Hoso podcast station, this is the Anime English Club, hosted by me, Sao Yamaki. This episode was directed by Kensuke Yoshida and produced by Shiori Tanaka of Nippon Broadcasting System, Japan.